Welcome to the Rustic Garden. These are my red yard beans or Chinese noodle beans or red Chinese noodle beans. They go by several different names, but they're basically beans that get 20 inches long. You can eat them when they're about 10 inches, 12 inches. The beans haven't matured yet. They're really tender. Quickly boil them, saute them. They are absolutely delicious, and I really recommend getting the red yard beans or green yard beans into your garden. And I do have a video that shows you the beans at picking stage and in production. And right here you're looking at 4 plants. So here's the harvest you'll get from all the dried beans that I just showed in the video. This is after, like I said, letting them grow for 30 to 45 days, 4 plants. But if you did, a dozen plants, you let them just grow and dry out, you could get pounds of dried beans to save for the winter. But you can see for the last 45 days, 30 days, I've left the beans on here to mature and to dry, and I'm going to collect the beans to replant next year. I only need, 15 or so. But also to store the dried beans so that I can use them in soup over the winter. Let me show you some of the stages. You want to pick them before this stage. This is where they're starting to plump right here, and the outer shell starts to get too tough. And then with time, you can see how they're losing moisture. The bean is fully plump in there, starting to dry out more. And then you finally get to this stage where the bean is completely dried. The beans themselves have hardened, the moisture's gone, and they're ready to really collect and save for the winter. You want to do this on a hot day where they're not moist from any kind of rain or any kind of morning dew or anything like that, so that when you go to store them, they are completely dry. And I will show you how to sort of shuck the beans in a way that is most easy, so you don't get a lot of the shell and bits and pieces of stuff in there that you don't want. With these beans, you can often find a seam to start breaking open, and that's all you really do is open it up like this and start rolling the beans out into the bowl. I recommend a bowl that's kind of deep. These beans are heavy, so there's a trick to clearing out all the unwanted debris and stuff like that. Once you've gone through a lot of these, you can just blow into it, and it'll blow out all the shell and bits and pieces that you don't want. You probably won't be able to see it, but when I look in here, there's one moving right here. There's some beetles in here, and you always have to be careful with your shelled or your dried peas or your dried beans. If you're going to save them for planting, put in some insect dust. You can use organic, inorganic, doesn't matter. Whatever you want, just a little pinch to kill out any of the beetles that may be in there. If you're going to use them for food consumption, put them in a Ziploc bag, stick them in the freezer for a couple of days, and let the cold kill off any beetles or eggs or anything that were in there. If not, so I showed you the nice, slower way to, gently take the beans out. But if you don't have a lot of time, or you're more like me and you want to get things done quickly, you can just take a bunch of the beans. Make sure, as you're going through, you break the shell or the husk around each bean and let them drop into here. Because these beans are heavy, just like peas, you can kind of just whip through them this way if you want. You'll get more, I think, beetles and stuff in there this way, but as long as you treat them like I recommended, it'll be fine. So make sure you get all the beans out of here. Give them a lift. You see the wind will blow some of the stuff out if it's a windy day. Take out the husks, and when you blow into here, you'll see most of the debris will come out, and this is a great way to quickly harvest dried beans or dried peas out of your garden. Be surprised, these will hatch, beetles will eat your beans, and you'll have nothing left for making your soups and stuff like that. Hope you enjoyed the video and it gives you some idea of how you can collect your own dried beans and store them for the winter. Please check out my blog at www.therusticgarden.blogspot.com and also check out my YouTube videos. Thanks.